down, sit down, panic, don't panic. You're playing mad. Well, I go show you who I'm mad. Oh, brave girl, come, work it, baby. Bounce, balance, party. Go down, sit down, panic, don't panic. She tell me when it come to walk up with her fling down how she bad. How she buy she hips and tell she tonight I'm your camera. You playing bad girl, I'm a bad man, I'm a bumper criminal. Go wake me up by behavior, think I was an animal. So baby,
91.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
It is 9:28 and Roleza and I are back with more talk time. Well, our final talk time here on Activated Mornings with Roleza and Dianna. Now, this is our Talk to Us segment, which means that the lines are open. Well, the lines are always open, but they are especially open to you at this time to call us with a topic if you wish to discuss your own topic, because you don't want to discuss what we're going to discuss. You want to bring up your own thing. You can do that. You actually can do that. Call us 457-9997 and we can get into that. If you have questions, comments based on anything that was said earlier, you can also call us and we can revisit some of those things as well. We will give you just a little bit of time to ring our line. Probably. Okay, so that's it. That's the time. Yep, time's up. All righty then. So seeing that there were no takers, we are going to head into something. Now, before I get into this particular topic, Roleza.
Just something that I was just scrolling through social media, right? And a story that I saw along with on Eyewitness News. I really have to laugh given the season that we're in. So I mean, the election date has not been announced as yet, but it's heightened. And I'm seeing, there's a particular article that's out in relation to, I suppose, one person who the persons are thinking they should be of the same party, on the same side of the party, right? So, it's kind of like an internal thing for the ULP side. But I went into the comment section and somebody say, NDP supporters, keep out. Right? And I had to have a good laugh because it's like when you see a party, one of the parties having whatever challenges that they having, the other side, they just let that party solve the problems that they own, right? So whoever it is on the other side of the party, keep out, right? But I had to get a good chuckle with it. And I mean, I think this is the season where you either get very emotional, and by emotional, I mean, you're either raising your blood pressure because you're so upset or you're so annoyed or you're so wanted to talk about things, or you're going to laugh. And for me, for a lot of these things, nobody raising my blood pressure. I rather chuckle, I rather laugh at some of these things. But yeah, Vincy, we are an interesting bunch of folks when it comes to commentary on, especially on social media. The comment section does be lit.
Yes.
Real lit, right? So, I mean, keep them coming. Y'all keep a calm head, but keep them coming because I am chuckling all the way for a lot of these things. But yeah, 'tis the season, folks. 'Tis the season.
Now, Roleza, before we get into the actual topic that we want to discuss at this time, I just gotta say something because it's been on my spirit. We were supposed to have a little discussion, or we kind of were supposed to have a little discussion on it this morning, but we didn't. We had other things, right? Things were busy this morning. But there are people with fruit trees. Could you kindly not make the fruit waste? Because walking through my village at this time of the year, my heart is heavy. Roleza. Below me, well, next to me, I've always talked about
these people on the land.
Yeah, with the fruit trees, wasted the fruits. So next to me, I've talked about the banana trees next to me that I just be watching through the fence and I cannot get to. So they're there still, the bananas and the plantains full and just left to the animals. I don't mind the animals eating, but hey, this animal wants to eat too, right? So there is that. Below me, there is what we call the Beckwe plum, and the tree is red. Oh,
Why I thought the Beckwith plum was the yellow plum? I don't know why. Okay, maybe
Oh no,
not.
well,
Okay.
they call that the Jamaica plum. That's what I know they call that. The yellow
Oh,
plum, the
okay.
Jamaica plum. Right? So that there's this Beckwith plum tree and it is filled. Nobody's going to the tree. Nobody is picking the tree. Nobody is picking the plums. I have to see it every day. Then there is another big mango tree. As you turn the corner to come to me, the corner that will bring you to my gap, there is a big mango tree there, and it is filled with mangoes because I can see all the yellow mangoes on the tree. Additionally, as I walk just below the officer where the officer is living there is another mango tree there filled with ripe mangoes as well. And just as you're entering this gap, yes, I just be watching people trees. Just as you're entering this gap, the first house out at the end of the road there's a big Beckwith plum tree in it, and that is red. My people, why are you not?
And all of these yards are enclosed?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Except for the mango tree in the corner.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, and well, as I just said, I was scrolling through social media, but there's a story on One News that came out an hour ago. Young man chopped to death in Glen allegedly over plum rose. I haven't read the article, but I would read the article when I get home. But just seeing that headline, and as they're talking about fruits, and this is why I asked if the yard is enclosed, or the yards that you're looking at are enclosed, because this is one of those situations where some people, you and I, may not want to see things go to waste, right? But there are some folks. I remember having a conversation with a friend, insistent that they rather things fall off and they rot, as opposed to allowing somebody to come and pick this stuff up from them, right? There are also instances where somebody's fruit tree might be hanging over a road or hanging over somebody else's property, and they don't want the persons to pick it. Now, as far as I'm concerned, if your stuff hanging over my side, that belongs to me, right? It could be your tree, but once it's on my side, it belongs to me, right? But it's just one of these very funny and ticklish situations. I mean, this morning I was passing, so I do have to pass on that mango tree and a breadfruit tree. 3 breadfruits fall off the this morning, but I've met them on the ground. But my concern always is, Lord, when I am passing under these trees, especially the breadfruit tree, do not let a breadfruit drop at the same time that I am passing, because it could damage the vehicle, it could damage the windscreen, it could do, whatever. But, it's these little things. You don't want things to go to waste, but also I know how some persons are about not wanting other persons to pick their fruits. And this is why it is I'm always talking on the topic of, we need to have a canning industry, or we need to be doing more with the fruits and the vegetables that we have. Oftentimes when I'm passing through the market, I often wonder how much of the stuff that the vendors have put out for sale, how much of them actually spoil, because it's a lot.
Yes.
We see a lot of provision. We see a lot of fruits, a lot of produce inside the market. A lot of times they're just stacked one on top of the other, and I really do wonder how much of it actually goes to waste. And this is what it is a concern for me. So while we're talking about food security and that sort of thing, I don't think that as Vincentians, we are in a negative where it comes to food, especially when it comes to healthy eating and things from out of the ground. But I do believe that the majority, and I probably want to put it at as about 50%, even more, a lot of our thing actually goes to waste. A lot of produce goes to waste. So
I just listen. I know people have their tree and you could do what you want with the tree. So yes, like you mentioned, there are those persons who said they would rather their things rot than have somebody on their tree. And then there are those persons who sell their things and they're of the opinion, well, if you're not buying it, I would rather have it rot.
If you're not buying it at the price that I stated.
No, like if you're not buying, I'm not giving you. Everything is for sale. Don't ask me for one. I don't have one to give you. I have one to sell you. If you're not buying, don't beg. I'll let it rot.
What I know some people do is that they hold out for the price. So you're going to see coming down to the end of the day, maybe like when it is time for them to pack up, then it is they will drop their price and say, well, I would, da. But
there for the people in the market, for the ones that have the trees in the yard, there are some who are selling. They will tell you, if you say, I could get a mango, please. I'm selling, and they will not give you. They're insisting that they're selling, and it's either you buy it or it drop off the tree. There's no in between. People,
I know I have a mango tree.
Is it grafted?
No, girl, I don't even know what kind of mango. I want to eat mango off the tree one time because I can't climb mango tree. So there used to be like when construction was going on in the area, guys would go on the tree. But I wouldn't make a fuss over that because, yes, it's a little bit uncomfortable to know that somebody's in the tree or somebody's on my property. But I just know that they're going to pick the mango and they're leaving, right?
Yeah.
So I never used to make a fuss over it. But I know that some people are going to make a fuss.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I think we have to do better with this one, man. We can't just be having. Listen, since I was a child, I would just look at people with trees in the yard and I thought, is the people with the tree not eating the stuff? Because why you have so many things falling up? There are schools you can donate to. Come on.
Yeah, schools, schools, you can give to a hospital. You could give to people in your community. You don't even really have to reach down to giving to schools and hospitals. There are people in your community. Like, and this is one of the things that I always respect about living in a community. One thing I could respect about living in a community where you might be passing an individual. Like the other day, this guy who I always pass, he tells me he loves me every single time he sees me. No. But his way of expressing, well, I guess, I don't think it's love in that kind of romantic sense. It's just, looking out for me and that kind of thing. So whatever little that he has, he would give to me. So the other day I got some plantains, right? Before I got some mangoes, right? There's another guy who one time I used to pass this house every day. I didn't even know the people then, but I would blow a toot and say good afternoon, good morning to them whenever I pass. And one time they had left something or the other for me. I can't remember. Breadfruit. Girl, was the first time I peeled breadfruit in my life. Right? Because they roasted the breadfruit and everything. Yeah, adult me peeling breadfruit. Yeah, that's a story by itself, right? But they had left roasted breadfruit for me. And I think this is, as persons living within communities, or even with your coworkers, is a little way to express, I care for you, that kind of thing. You just give all the little that you have, and fruits and vegetables and that kind of thing is a good way to show it, so.
Very, very good way. So I'm just appealing to the persons, please, just don't let the fruit waste. It pains my heart when I be passing and I be seeing your stuff on your trees, okay? Just give them to somebody. Call somebody I believe that every village has this, at least one person in this village you can call to come and pick some things for you, even if you give them a little bit of money. I feel like every single village in this country would have that person. Like if you think about an odd job that you have to do, you think, aha, John or Jane, yeah, go ahead, can do this. Please, you're hurting me. About an odd job that you have to do.
Hi, Joshua.
Hi, now you're talking fruit. The first time I took Yolanda to St. Vincent, we got in the night. The morning we were driving a taxi into Kingston. And I mean, we saw mango littering the streets. I mean, like hundreds upon hundreds. And my wife asked, what are those things? I said, well, they're mangoes. She said to the taxi driver, could we stop and pick up some? The taxi driver said, ma'am, not even dog and yam them there. Of course. My wife didn't understand the dialect, so she said, what? I said, oh, he said not even the dogs will eat those. And she insists that he stop. He said, ma'am, don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway, later on, we were at, we went up the Queen's Drive and walking in the morning. And I'm telling you, I've never seen so many mango trees before. And I stopped there. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, looking at the mango trees. And then I saw this car driving down from the hill across the bridge. And I stopped the guy. I said, sir, excuse me, who owns this property? He said, my dad. I said, could I have like a mango or two? He said, of course you could, but don't cross the bridge, because if you cross the bridge, the dogs are going to eat you alive. I'm sure if you guys are familiar with Queen's Drive, you know the area I'm talking about. So if you ask, I think they would give. He said, what annoys us is that people would sometimes pull up in trucks and just steal the mangoes and sell them. And all they have to do if you want one or two. So every morning, believe it or not, I walk down, I didn't cross the bridge, and I pick a big mango and some mangoes I can't even identify. And I enjoyed mangoes, because in Bermuda, we could sometimes pay almost $5 for a fluffy mango. And when you cut the thing in, it's black on the inside.
Wow.
So you're so blessed in St. Vincent, you got mangoes knocking dog. And don't teach the people and thing, man. Ask for it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Joshua. All right.
Yep.
All right. So I see. So Coach Justin, I think people and government need to meet with that. So I suppose it's not letting things go to waste. All right. Hi, Mr. Mason. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm there now, just getting my mango ready to put in my papa to make a blender.
Monica show yourself,
Why would you do that?
Monica show yourself,
Honest, I'm at the swing there, just getting my mangoes ready with my papa.
What kind of
And
mango?
everything to make up.
That's
Anyway,
grafted originally.
when you talk about mangoes, when I was a teenager, we had 2 lovely mango trees, and we had a lot of mangoes around. But one of the mango trees, a lime tree, was next to the mango tree. So one of my cousins, who was older than me, I thought, if I go up and I shake those mangoes down, when I get back down, he will take all the nice ones. So I tied my shirt, picked as much as I can, and forced them in my shirt to come down. As I was going out to pick one of the mangoes, I heard crack, the limb broke. And believe me, I fell in the lime tree. Men got to come and pick me up. I screamed, blood everywhere. But now, the most serious part here now, as I was growing up, I always thought to myself, if I go abroad, work, and come back home, I'm going to build a big house, wall, get 2 big dogs, get my mango trees or whatever in the yard, with a gun, and anyone try to scale my fence, I will shoot them. As a young teenager, that was in my head. Anyway, I went to England, and when I came back, I used to come quite regular on vacation. I remember one morning I went to the beach, and as I was coming back, there was this lovely house, 2 mango trees in the yard, and 2 big dogs. The dogs were tied, so they could cover the whole yard, Anyway, I looked at those mangoes on the ground, plenty mangoes. But later on in the day, I came into town. The sun streaming down on their head, and they had little piles of mangoes and then put $2 and so on. From that moment, I didn't want to get a big house anymore. I didn't want any dogs anymore. I didn't want a gun. Because I thought to myself, just imagine those old women, they're there all day long. Maybe they got to take their bus there to go into town. They're trying to sell a little mango for $2. And there were those mangoes rotting on the ground out there, I felt real sick. So that is my little bit before. But I had to laugh because, as I said, I'm just here with my mango in my hand at the thing, getting ready to do my bending.
Lovely.
Enjoy.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Mason.
Okay.
All right.
Well, they're all the best.
To you too. Thank you. All right. And I know we owe over time just by a minute or so, but I just want to also encourage community markets, right? Oftentimes we talk about people going into town to do this and to do that. Many times we don't even have to go into Kingstown to be able to get fruits and vegetables. Yeah. One of the things that I respect about Clare Valley is on a Sunday, there's market day. it's market morning, right? Because the guys that but I think they actually do it. It might not just be Sunday, because I know Fridays when I'm heading home, if I'm getting home late, that there are some guys who would also be out selling stuff. I guess tomatoes and passion fruit and so forth. But market day for Clare Valley is a Sunday morning, so you can also have these things within your own communities. I mean, persons who might have, so like even the breadfruit tree I talk about, people would go and pick the breadfruits. And to me, I see nothing wrong with, rather than it dropping on the ground and me driving over them, the guys in the area, you know who the guys in your communities are, right? So if you see them going on your fruits, your fruit trees, etc., to pick the fruits, kind of just allow them rather than letting it go to waste. They can sell within the community, and that way you could be able to encourage entrepreneurship, they could be doing different things with it, etc. So let's encourage the community markets as well. You don't even have to have the physical structure, but they could just be selling by the roadside under a little shed that they knock up. So let's motivate and encourage persons in that way as well. All right.
And those community markets can be very convenient, especially you forget to pick up something Friday morning and you see things Sunday morning selling.
Tell me about it, because and that's the thing too, because like you have persons going to church, so after church on their way home they might decide what it is they're cooking for lunch. As yet you just pick up one or two things and that kind of situation, So yeah. All right. So just quickly, just to say good morning to George, who's listening to us in Italy. Yeah, George is not in Puerto Rico, but George is in Italy. So good morning to George and good morning to Mr. Macri as well. All right. So
all right.
Could head on out.
And with that, we are going straight into Community Dateline.
WEFM.